Hey, AP World History. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome in to Jeopardy Unit 6. Yes, so exciting. This is our last unit that we need to do. Once you get in here, make sure and drop your name in the comments so that I know that you're here, and I will get you on a Jeopardy team. And get this up and running over here. Got quite the setup this morning. So welcome in. Once you get in here, drop your name in the comments. If you have not joined the Final Jeopardy Remind, go ahead and do that. That way you can participate in that. Oh, hold on. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Rachel. How's it going? Hi, Ethan. Good morning. Hold on just a second. I got to get my thing up and running. I run this other computer so that I can keep up on the comments a little easier, and I run it off of my I run it off of my cell phone data because my internet's crappy. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we got Lana and Leah. Okay, good morning. And Sean is here. Good morning, guys. Come on in. Let's get our teams. Let's see. Team 1, we'll do Rachel. Team 2 will be Ethan. And team 1, I'll put Lana and Leah. And Sean, I'll put you on team 2. Annie, I'll put you on team 2. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, good morning, guys. If you have not joined in on the Remind, if you're in my class, you don't need to do this because you can talk to me on Teams. But if you are not in my class, go ahead and join on Remind so that you can participate in the Final Jeopardy. Also, we've got a stream tonight over Unit 1 and 2. I'll be helping you organize your notes for the exam, so don't forget about that. And tomorrow at 7, this keeps going out. We have another one to help you organize your notes for 3 and 4. And then Thursday at 7, we're doing 5 and 6. So don't miss those. Those will be at 7 p.m. each night, and that's Central Time. Okay. And then on Friday, we have the last Jeopardy competition. This one is a big one. So if you guys can join in on Friday, it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing one of my teacher friends' classes, Mr. Stopberg. He used to teach at my school, and now he teaches at another school. So we've got our name is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to kill it in that one. So make sure and show up Friday at noon. All of you guys will be on the same team, so you'll be playing together, and then we'll be playing against his class, hopefully, if enough of his kiddos show up. So you definitely want to participate in that. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so I have Rachel, Lana, Leah on team 1, and team 2 is Ethan, Sean, and Annie. Am I missing anybody? Let me know if you are here and I don't have you on a team. Let me know. We're a little late this morning. Everybody must be sleeping in, huh? All right, so here are our categories. I'll let you take a look at that while we're waiting for some more people to join in, hopefully. I got to make the Jeopardy board here. I forgot to do that before you guys all logged in. Hey, Juan, how's it going? Juan, I'm going to put you on team 1. Good to see you, kid. I just went over a couple of announcements. They're running across the screen, though, at the bottom, so you can read that. We've got a lot of stuff coming up that you don't want to miss because we're getting closer to the test, guys. Are you ready? Are you nervous? Have you done the demo? Make sure you do that demo. It's a pretty good walkthrough of what to expect on the day, so check that out. I also did a video if you need help walking through it, but it's pretty simple. I mean, you should be able to get through the walkthrough. Also, I heard that on the AP College Board YouTube, they have some DBQ practice, so you can check that out as well. Okay. Oh, don't be nervous, Rachel. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So, here's the thing. Like, we only have 45 minutes, so at least you're not going to be like taking a 3-hour exam that you're just like trying to like figure out. It'll be okay. And next week on the 19th, I'm going to do Unit 6 DBQ, so we can practice that one. And then the night before the test, we'll do like final questions, and we'll talk about how, what you can do if you're running out of time, things like that. Okay, because there are some key points that you can get pretty quickly, and we want to make sure that you get those. Okay, so Shun says yes, it's next week, Shun. It's crazy how fast it's come. Ethan says, please help. I have an AP in 2 days. Which test do you have in 2 days, Ethan? Juan says, did you guys hear that some students AP Physics weren't able to submit their test? Ooh, you know what? That's what's good about our test being on the 21st is that they'll have time to work out all those kinks. Hopefully, right? Crossing our fingers. Hey, Quentin, how's it going? Quentin, when do you take the calculus test? Let us know, because I think it's coming up, right? Oh, yeah, Ethan's got AP Spanish Lit. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. All right, Quentin, I'm putting you on Team 2. Oh, Quentin takes that today. Oh, my goodness. Well, good luck, Quentin. We're rooting for you. We know you can do it. Get that one out of the way, and then you can focus on AP World, right? You know what? After taking the calculus one, you'll probably think that AP World is super easy. Like, it'll just be, like, completely easy. And I say that because I am not a math person, so I could never take a calculus AP test. Like, you're the man. Yes, good luck, Rachel says. Thank you, Rachel. You're always a good cheerleader. All right, so Team 1, we have Rachel, Lana, Leah, and Juan. And Team 2, we have Ethan, Shun, Annie, and Quentin. Let's get going just so that we don't lose time here. And then if anybody else comes, they can drop in on a team. All right, so let's see. Rachel, do you want to be lead for Team 1? And let's see. Ethan can be lead for Team 2, or if Shun, Annie, or Quentin want to do it, just let us know. I'm sure Ethan wouldn't mind sharing because he's usually team leader. All right, Rachel. So we're going to start with Team 1 for you, and you have the board. Let me know what category you want and how much money. Ethan, when's your exam? If Quentin's is today, I think yours might be tomorrow, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. All right. So Rachel says imperialism for 400. Here we go. All right. Explain one reason besides religious conversion that missionaries believed they were helping the colonized lands. 11 p.m. Thursday at 11 p.m. That seems really late. Oh, a.m. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Explain one reason besides religious conversion that missionaries believed they were helping the colonized lands. Ethan says they were educating them. He came in right before Rachel, who said that they built schools with secular religions. Okay, you mean like education? And then Shun said they believed because they were the superior race that they had to civilize them. Yes, all good answers. Ethan got those points for Team 2 because he came in right before you did, Rachel. All right, so Team 2, you now have the board. Ethan, you can choose, or if anybody else on your team wants to, they can as well. I don't. But nobody said they wanted, so I'll let you go, Ethan. You can be the team lead for Team 2. Oh, hold on. I gotta get back to the board. No, we don't want to see the answer. There we go. Let me know what you would like. Oh, okay, gotcha. Subjects. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right. Yeah, I'm hoping that they fix the kinks by next week. I did see that there were several talking about that. But they should be able to tell if you guys can't submit it, hopefully. And hopefully that will be good to go. So, all right, Ethan says, imperialism for 500. How did I know you were going to go for the big one? Here we go. Explain one economic motivation behind European imperialism in the 19th century. An economic motivation behind imperialism in the 19th century. Oh my goodness, Ethan, you are fast fingers today. Ethan says they wanted to expand their empires in order to industrialize further what resources from their colonies, such as coal and iron. Yes, I know, Rachel. I thought the same thing. Like, oh my goodness, he is fast today. He must be sitting like on top of his router. All right, very good, Ethan. Juan says industrialization. Yeah, definitely. And Leah says that they need resources. Yes, that is correct. They do need resources. And Sean says they wanted to get resources from the colonies. Rachel says, bruh. I totally get it, Rachel. Like, how did he type so fast? I barely read the question. All right, Ethan, let me know which one you want. I'm guessing global development for 500, but that's just, that's just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Oh, that is funny. All right, guys. Maybe we should just put Ethan on his own team. What do you think about that? Global development for 500. How did I know? Here we go. Here we go. All right. Europeans used the justification that they were helping the natives by bringing them into the modern era. What are two ways in which they did that? Two ways that they brought into the modern era. I'm just kidding, Ethan. I would never do that to you. He might be a mind reader, Rachel. It's a very good possibility. He's giving you guys some time now, a head start. Okay, they brought new technology to them for them to have resources as well as bring education. Okay, so I'm looking for some specific technology. So Shun says they built railroads, and second, they made trade. So I'm going to give that to you guys because you're on the same team, and basically together your answer is good. Yes, so building railroads, telegraph systems, all of that, bringing them into the modern era. Okay, very good. All right. Built railroads, steamships. Steamships are really important, especially in Africa, because there were areas that weren't accessible as easily before steamships. So keep that in mind. All right, Ethan, the board is still yours. Go ahead and pick one. Go ahead and pick one whenever you're ready. Sean, what time do you take the AP exam? Do you take it the same time as we do, or do they give you a different time since you're over there? Ethan says 500 for causes of migration. Here we go. Explain one historical situation in the period of 1750 to 1900 in which individuals were coerced or semi-coerced to migrate. Ooh, this is a tough one. Explain one historical situation in the period of 1750 to 1900 in which individuals were coerced or semi-coerced to migrate. Okay, Rachel says the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, yeah, that would work in that time period. So I'm going to give that to Team 1. Woohoo! You guys are on the board, and Team 1, you now have control of the board. So go ahead and let me know what you want. And let's see. 3 of the 500s are gone. Good morning, Tuan. Tuan, I'm going to put you on Team 1. Oh, We got some competition coming in, Tuan. Tuan, on Friday at noon, we are playing a Jeopardy competition with Mr. Stopberg's class. So if you can come to that, that'd be fun. We'll have a good time. All of you guys will be on the same team against his kids, which will be super fun. All right. Ethan says the transatlantic slave trade was a period in which many Africans were transported across the Atlantic by force. Yeah, that's true. To work in the plantations. Ethan, we got to work on your typing skills, buddy. Shun says indigenous people were forced out of their land. Yeah, you could use that. So you could talk about the Cherokee Nation and the Trail of Tears. Definitely. Indentured servitude. Yep, that would be semi-coerced. Very good. And then Rachel says global development for 400. Okay, here we go. One type of imperialism is economic domination. In this type, what is the role of the local government? One type of imperialism is economic domination. In this type, what is the role of local government? Yeah. Okay. So Juan says to sit back and allow it to happen. Shun says puppets. Yeah, both of those are pretty good ideas. They still have power, but most of the power is in control of the imperial country. Yeah, so they still have a little bit of power, but it's definitely weakened by the imperial country. Let's see. Obviously, make sure the workers are getting the resources, Ethan says, and then the government uses its influence to gain trade. Okay, yeah, so basically what I was looking for here is that they remain in control, but their power is weakened. So I'm going to give that to Juan. Team 1 now has 900. Team 2 has 1,400. Very good, guys. We are neck and neck. All right, Team 1, you have the control of the board. So just remember that there are different types of imperialism, and in Unit 6, it talks about the 3 different types. If you're, a little bit like you forget that, make sure that you look at Unit 6 and check that out. We'll put that on our one-pager too. So when we do the one-pagers. It's crazy how close to the test we are. I mean, I just really feel like April went super slow, but now May is just like boom, boom, boom. It's going to be crazy. So Rachel, for your question about the AMSCO book, it is a little bit easier read. We use the AMSCO book and the Strayer book, and I have my kids try to read a little bit of both because the Strayer book is more in depth, and I like that about it because it gives you more information. I feel like the AMSCO book isn't enough to write an LEQ. However, we're not writing an LEQ. So since we're writing a DBQ, and you have the documents, I feel like the AMSCO book gives you enough information for like outside evidence and stuff. So you could definitely use the AMSCO book for this year, definitely. Hey, Gary. That's Gary, right? Invictus. I think that's Gary. Did you change your name? Maybe, I don't know. If that's not Gary, let me know your actual name, and I'll put you on Team 2. They need you, because that will even up the team. Okay, good morning, Gary. Let's see. Shun says, I'm planning to self-study APWH next year. Okay, cool. I definitely have some resources that I can send you, Shun, if you need them. And I've never taught APWH, but I can definitely help you on that because I like it. Okay, Rachel, I'm going to say that you want... let's see. Did we do causes? We're going to do causes of migration for 400. Okay. Cause you've been going after those 400s. So we're going to do that. Sean says she uses AMSCO and Barron. Okay. Barron. I've never heard of that one, but, I'll have to check that one out. The AMSCO book just isn't a lot of like in-depth information. That's the problem with that one. But if you want to just like glaze over and like get the basics, then the AMSCO is good. All right, here we go. It's okay, Rachel. No problem. We'll do this one and then you can pick the next one. Okay, here we go. Causes of migration. Explain how economic factors contributed to patterns of migration. Explain how economic factors contributed to patterns of migration. Okay, Ethan says they were pukey factor? What? Are you using like a speech thing? Like maybe that's why. Invictus says people were poor and wanted jobs, so they moved to new places with job opportunities. Yeah, that's good. Tuan says gold in California and Australia. Shun says Chinese people. Oh, why? How did that happen? Oh, because I clicked on it. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I could show. Okay. Sean says Chinese people went to America to build railroads. Very good. Job opportunities. Yes. So I think the first one that answered that one was Gary. So team 2, you guys get the 400 and the control of the board is now yours, Ethan. So let me know what you would want. I still have the last 2 500s left right here. And the last 2 400s, and then everything else on the board is open. So let me look and see what else we got over here. Railroad and construction jobs. Very good. Juan says, in America, there are lots of industrialization and people migrated there. Very good. Oh, no, Sean, your internet is lagging. That sucks. Okay, Ethan says 500 for natives. Okay, here we go. Explain what happened in the Philippines from the time the Spanish ruled to the U.S. Oh, sorry, Lana. Lana, try maybe getting on your cell phone. Sometimes that's faster. Okay, Tuan, that's part of it. Looking for a little bit more details. So, like, what happens between the Spanish and the U.S. in order to for the Philippines to change hands, and then what happens, and then what happens? Tuan says hope for freedom, but U.S. says no. Okay. Ethan says they were exploited. Rachel says the Spanish-American War put the Philippines into U.S. rule. Okay. Then what happened, Rachel, after that? Gary says it was used for a way to trade silver. Okay, that's like real far back. In this time period, though, that would have been done. Spanish-American War. Yep, Shun. So the first thing is the Spanish-American War between Spain and America, and the U.S. gets the rule of the Philippines. And then what happens? We need that last thing. So far, Rachel is the closest. Yes, you're right, Gary. That was definitely a part of the silver trade way far back. All right, Ethan says the Spanish used them as a trade center, which later transferred between Spanish-American War. Later, the Philippines gained their independence through revolution. All right, that's that last part that I was looking for. Yes, that's true. So eventually, they're going to fight against the U.S. and get their freedom in 1946. So that one was 400. I'm going to give you each 200 points because Rachel got the first part and Ethan got the last part. So team 1, we have 1,100, and team 2, you have 2,000. Still anybody's game. Very good. All right. So Ethan, go ahead and choose which one you want. We still have 1 500 left. I'm guessing that's probably the one you're going to want to go with. Yeah, Gary, so that the silver trade would have been back in like the 16th century, so like 1500s, 1600s time frame. But you are right about that. Philippines was the integral part of that. All right, last 500, here we go. Explain one way that immigrants were discriminated against. That's a pretty easy one. Explain one way in which immigrants were discriminated against. And if you just dropped in and you're not on a team, please let me know you're here. Just drop your name in the comments and I will get you on a team. Gary says they were racially profiled. Very good. And Tuan says Chinese Exclusion Act. Shun says Chinese Exclusion Act. Very good. So let's see. Gary, you're on team 2. And Tuan, you're on team 1. I like both those answers. So I'm gonna split the points again because both are true and accurate. The Chinese Exclusion Act is just a little bit more of like a specific way that they were racially profiled or that they were excluded and not allowed to come in, which is interesting because the U.S. was using them a lot for labor. So it's interesting that the U.S. didn't want them to come in. All right, Ethan, let me know which one you would like next. Ethan says there were laws against them and racism. Rachel says Chinese Exclusion Act prohibited Chinese from coming into the U.S. Shun says they blocked them. Ethan says policies such as White Australia, Chinese exclusion, and anti-immigration policies. Very good. Yeah, White Australia was really interesting one to read about. I was like, what? Like, I just don't understand. Shun says, in my screen, I answered first. Oh, no, Shun. Well, I got to go with what I see on my screen. Maybe it's taken a little while to get over here. Just kidding. Internet, yeah. It sucks. Causes of migration for 400. All right, here we go. We already did that one, so I'm going to do the indigenous responses for 400. Here we go. How did the Hosa resist imperialism? How did the Hosa resist imperialism? Okay, Tuan says they killed cattle. Shun says they killed the goat. They killed their cows. Yes, they did one other thing other than just killing their cattle, though. The first person who says it, I'll give your team the points. They did kill the cattle, so we got both teams that have said that. What was the other thing? Killed the cows because they thought it would remove the white men. Yes, they revolted. They killed their cattle, and what else did they destroy? Tuan is very close when he says they died a lot because of food shortage. So what else did they destroy? Juan says that they did the ghost dance. That one is actually the Native Americans in the U.S., but you're on the right track with how that was like in like rebellion against the white people coming in. Ethan says they killed their farms. Do you mean their crops? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, so they killed their cattle and they burned their crops. Yes, very good. And Tuan, make sure you put like they destroyed their crops or something like that. Lana, there we go. Okay, Lana, destroyed their crops. I'm going to go with Lana because that is what I was looking for. They destroyed their crops and they killed their cattle. Very good. So that one was 400. Good job, Lana. All right. So, Rachel, you now have control of the board. Ethan, you're so funny. Yeah, killed their farms. I love it. You know, you might have gotten credit for that if you wrote that in an essay. You never know. You never know who's going to be reading it. And why in the world didn't they destroy their crops? Yeah, so, you know, that's an interesting thing, Shun, because obviously they need the crops to eat, but they thought that that would help, you know, the spirits drive the white people out. So it's a bummer that it didn't work for them. Okay, Rachel, effects of migration for 300. Here we go. Define ethnic enclave. Define ethnic enclave. This is some boomer behavior, Ethan. I'm sorry, Ethan. Can't argue with the judge. Okay, let's see. Shun says, I mean, I understand cattle spirit, but crop spirit, yeah. I get what you're saying. Ethan says ethnic people migrated and stick together. Yes. So basically, an ethnic enclave was a part of town that, or a neighborhood where the people from the same foreign country all lived together. Very good. Ethan, you now have control of the board. Let us know which one you want. Let's see what everybody else says. Gary says it's where an ethnic group would live together. Yep. Yeah, so all of those are good. Chinatown, Little Italy. Yes, very good. Chinatown and Little Italy are examples of that. I went to New York several years ago and went to Chinatown. I just loved it. It was so much fun. They had a bunch of little cool shops and whatnot. All right. So yeah, why do you think that they did that? Think about why they would, come together and like all live in the same neighborhood. Okay. And then Ethan wants effects of migration. Before we go to that one, let's talk about this. Basically, the reason that they did it was because it felt like home, right? So it's a little bit more comfortable to be around people that you know, and maybe you don't know them, but you at least speak their same language, right? And discrimination, yeah. So Tuan's right. So they were able to like kind of fight against discrimination a little bit more together. Felt more like home, Ethan says. Yeah, very good. All right, you guys are so good. You know this outside information. You're ready for that. So hey, at least you're gonna get 2 points on this DBQ. At least. All right. Effects of migration. Here we go. Explain one way in which Italian migrants affected Argentina. Explain one way in which Italian migrants affected Argentina. They brought Italian culture, yes. So how did that affect Argentina? This would have been in Unit 6, Juan. If you have the AMSCO book, you can read Unit 6. And if you don't have the AMSCO book, then whichever book you have, look at the period 1750 to 1900 that focuses on imperialism. Invictus says they changed the language a little bit. Yeah, so how? Ethan says ethnic enclaves and spaghettis. I like it. That is effect. Hello. What? Ethan, I don't know what you're trying to say. So Gary's closest. How did they change the language? Do you know? Ethan says they affected Argentina by infusing Italian culture into Argentinian culture. Okay, good. So yeah, definitely in the cuisine, they brought their food, and they also merged some Spanish words with Italian words. Okay, so Italian and Spanish are kind of similar anyway, so it was easy to make that merge. Very good. Okay, so that one, was that 300? No, that's 400. All right, going to Gary. So, Ethan, you still have control of the board. And team 2, you have 2,950. And team 1, you have 1,750. So, no worries, though, because this is anybody's game. We proved that last week. I think I told you the story about APWH, about how there were 2 teams leading the whole game. And then in the end, they lost by 1 point. It was hilarious. Well, actually, Rachel, Gary thinks he's on his own team. Okay, Gary is very competitive in his own realm. All right, Ethan, what do we want? Let's see. We still have 300s left. I bet you're going to want to go with one of those. So we will do Indigenous for 300. How about that, Ethan? Here we go. Define Pan-Africanism. Define Pan-Africanism. Unity of Africans. All Africans? And how so? Like, what kind of unity? Give me a little bit more details. Tuan says an African movement to rise up. Okay, that's part of it, yes. Invictus says Pans and Africans. No. Sean says Africans believed they were intelligent like Europeans and rose against them using this. Close. The spread of African pans around the world. No, Ethan. That's funny. Tuan, African nationalism from Western educated Africans. Yes, Tuan, that's what I'm looking for. Yes. So it was mostly Western educated Africans who started this, and they were basically calling for a shared identity and nationalism to fight imperialism. So that goes to team 1, and that takes you guys up in some points. Let me know, Rachel, what you would like next. Let me get back to the board here. We still have all the 300s except for these last two, and all the 100s and 200s. Yes, very good, Lana. Unity of the Indigenous Africans. Very good. Quoted from the AMSCO. Oh, Tuan's got his AMSCO book out. He ain't playing. He ain't playing now. I like it. I like it. All right. Rachel says imperialism for 300. Here we go. Explain the Berlin Conference and the problem with it. There's a specific problem. Yes, Ethan, I get you. Totally get you. Gary, you can use your AMSCO book. No problem. But yeah, Ethan, I totally get you. The Berlin Conference divided the African continent. Yes, Rachel, that's part of it. They didn't invite Africans, and it was a meeting to divide up the African colonies. Yes, Ethan got the whole thing. So they didn't invite any Africans. That was the biggest problem with it, because as they were splitting it up, they didn't pay attention to tribes that didn't get along, which will later lead to problems like the Rwandan genocide and problems like that. Sean says Berlin is Bismarck hosted. Bismarck hosted European countries to divide up African lands, but problem is African people were not invited. Yes, Sean, you got that. Okay, Ethan, you have control of the board. We still have 2 300s left, the global development and causes, and then all the 100s and 200s. Gary says it was where European Union powers split up Africa. Oh, all these moved up really quick. Okay, yes. Juan says no African present. Yeah, that was the problem. Okay, Gary, and Ethan's on your team. Okay, you finally figured that out. Good. Oh my goodness. Y'all are cracking me up this morning. Okay, Ethan says causes for 300. Here we go. Explain the purpose of the Japanese Colonization Society and one place that they sent colonists. Explain the purpose of Japanese Colonization Society and one place they sent colonists. Rachel says they wanted to expand their influence. That's true. Sent colonists to Mexico. Good, Rachel. Yes. And then Tuan says Hawaii to get resources and jobs. So combined, you guys did good on that answer, and you're both on the same team, so that's convenient. Rachel, you now have control of the board. Let me know what you would like. Other places they sent Japanese were Peru and the West Coast in the U.S. Ethan says in order to expand Japanese influence, they sent them to America, specifically Peru and Chile. Dang, the Ways of the World book missed a lot of this. You know, Gary, I think the Ways of the World book has this stuff in there. It's just that it's like really dense. That book is like more of a college level read, whereas the AMSCO book is like more of a like 9th grade level or something like that. So I think that's probably why you may have missed it. It's probably in there though. Yes, Juan, all of this is from Unit 6 of the AMSCO book. I have no idea what book I should rely on. Yes, Sean, I understand. basically you just kind of got to mix them together because every book has different things about it that's good. I really like the Strayer book for the fact that it's so dense that it will help you write essays. But I like the AMSCO book because if you're just getting like quick references, the AMSCO book is the way to go. So that's why we use both of those. I don't really know too much about the other ones though. AMSCO is good for this purpose though, because really the only information that you need other than the documents is your outside information. So that's why AMSCO book is good enough. If you were writing an LEQ though, you definitely would need the Strayer book. Okay, Rachel says, I'm glad I bought the AMSCO book. Yeah, it's a good resource, definitely. And Ethan said, did you all know there was a Latin American dictator who was Japanese? I did not. That's interesting. Tell us more about that, Ethan. All right, Rachel says, migration for 200. Let's pop that one up just a second. I want to read the rest of these. Sean says, okay, we have like a week left. I should start cramming with AMSCO. Yeah, definitely. You can look over AMSCO. I also did a unit video for each unit. They're the Amazing Race ones. So you can listen to those. That's basically the AMSCO book as well as the Strayer book. I kind of mixed them together. Okay. And let's go. Gary says, it's actually improved my understanding because in the beginning, I had a lot of issues trying to comprehend the Strayer book. Yeah. The Strayer book is a harder read, but it will definitely help you because it's college level. So it's only going to help your intelligence level and your reading ability for later when you are in college. All right, effects of migration. Here we go. Explain one way that migration affected the new society. Explain one way that migration affected the new society. Okay. Shun says Baron is too long. I'm going with AMSCO. You know, Shun, for the DBQ, since it is the way it is this year, then that's a good idea. When you take APWH, you definitely want something, though, that's going to have a little bit more like meat to it, just because you're going to be writing more essays. Gary says, it brought new cultures and caused mixing with the cultures. Can you give me a specific example? Rachel said they led to demographic changes on a large scale. Okay, that's pretty good. Give me an example of that. They brought their new culture, language, and cuisines, which allowed more diversity. That's pretty good, Ethan. Juan says rising middle class. They brought new foods, brought cultures, but also created discrimination. Okay, so I'm going to go with Gary and Ethan's answer and kind of put those together since they were on the same team. That's good. And there's definitely a lot of ways, right, that they affected it, basically bringing their culture in, the enclaves, their food, the demographic changes for sure. All of those are good answers. All right, Ethan, we still have global development for 300, I think. Let's see if we did that one. I'm going to go with that one because that's the biggest one. And I know you like to go for the big ones. All right, explain the Monroe Doctrine. Explain the Monroe Doctrine. Gary says the Monroe Doctrine was a United States policy that opposed European colonization in the Americas. Yes, ding, 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 ding. Good job, Gary. Basically, it's the U.S. saying, hey, European people, stay out of our business. Stay out of our business. Stay in your lane, okay? Sean asked about taking notes. Sean, notes are going to be a little bit helpful for the DBQ, mostly for context and outside evidence. So tomorrow and Thursday, when I go over how to do one-pagers for the units, we're going to like narrow down some things that you can just like look at quickly. That way, when you get on the test, and let's say they say that it's from 1450 to 1600 or whatever the time frame is, you can go to that one pager and you'll have all that information right there. So that should help you quite a bit. And Ethan says, I pray the DBQ isn't too hard. Yeah, we all do, Ethan, but it's College Board. Come on now. I mean, come on. It's gonna be challenging. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be challenging. But you guys have been preparing. I'm super proud of you guys for all your hard work. I think that everybody here will be okay. All right, so we have 100s and 200s. We're just gonna knock them out of here. Imperialism for 200s. Here we go. Explain the white man's burden. Explain the white man's burden. Gary says it's where they think they're better than everyone and have to improve other societies. Okay, that's pretty good. Sean says white man thought they were superior and had the duty to civilize. Yeah, it's a poem which described how it was the duty of the white men to educate inferior races. Yeah, very good. So that goes to team 2 because Gary got it first. And Gary said that he's written 10 DBQs and he still can't get a 10, so he forfeits. Gary, you're getting better, okay? All the ones that I have read are getting better. So just hang in there, kid. Rachel, you are so welcome. I don't mind helping at all. And Sean says, you type too fast. White men's responsibility to colonize other societies. Yes, very good. All of these are good. Okay. You guys are too funny. All right, here we go. Imperialism for 100. Explain how nationalism played a part in imperialism. Explain how nationalism played a part in imperialism. Sean says they wanted to increase their national prestige by expanding their empire. Very good. Yeah. So it's all about looking good, right? And expanding your empire to look good and to be the best nation. So very good. Team 1, you now have control of the board, but we're just knocking these off. So I'll go ahead and grab this one for you guys. Very good. Global development. As a result of military domination, China was eventually separated into blank, blank, blank. Sean is not on your team. Oh, wait. Yeah, Sean is on your team. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Sean is on your team, Gary. Let me fix these points here. Got to keep me honest. It's still early. Okay. Yeah, Sean is on your team. Calm down. I fixed it. All right. Rachel says speeds of influence, sphere of influence. Yeah. Yeah. Rachel, I knew what you meant, but Gary's right. Well, yeah, she did. Oh my goodness. This is really getting competitive. It's a 200-point question. All right. I'm going to give you each 100 points. Merry Christmas. Here we go. Don't argue with me. Okay. Here we go for topic. Did I do the 100? I don't think I did the 100. The British built this to shorten the water route between the Mediterranean and Asia. The British built this to shorten the water route between the Mediterranean and Asia. Rachel says Suez Canal. Very good, Rachel. Woohoo! All right. So, Rachel, your internet must be getting faster. She's killing it. All right, here we go. Very good. Suez Canal and causes of migration 200. Blank blank was a push factor to leave Ireland from 1845 to 1849. Oh yeah, clapping sound effect. I forgot about that. I got you. The studio audience is asleep. I thought that was to get into Asia. Well, yes, Juan. So It's between the Mediterranean and the Red Sea, and it eventually will take you to Asia. Honestly, I didn't know that one. I just copied Rachel. Aha, okay. The Great Famine or the Potato Famine. Yes, so I'm going to go with Rachel on that one because it is also called the Great Famine or the Potato Famine, either one. But basically that pushed them out. Yes, very good. All right, so causes for 100. Here we go. Define penal colony and give an example of one. Define penal colony and give an example of one. Ethan says this is a scam. Tuan says Australia, prison, a colony of prisoners. Rachel says, all right, if I put both of those answers together, then you would have it. So team 1, colony of criminals in Australia. Very good. All right, we're marking them off now. Indigenous responses. What was the Indian National Congress? What was the Indian National Congress or the purpose of it? Ethan says it was for Indian rights, power redeemed, to fight the British rule, to plan a plot against the British, Congress that promoted Indians in South Africa. Okay, so Ethan and Gary, you're pretty close. So it was definitely formed for Indian rights. And then later it will be more to fight the British rule. So I'm going to go with you guys on that one. Basically, it was established to tell the British they weren't happy with the government, and then later to fight for self-rule. So very good. All right, explain what the U.S. did to the Cherokee Nation. Explain what the U.S. did to the Cherokee Nation. The Indian Removal Act. Okay, that's good, Juan. What exactly was that? Tell me a little bit more. They forced them to Alabama on the Trail of Tears. Trail of Tears got them kicked out to Oklahoma. Whose team are you on, Juan? You're on team 1. Okay, so Juan and Rachel's answers together would get those points, and that's a $100 question. But yeah, Trail of Tears, basically manifest destiny. They wanted that area, and they removed them to Oklahoma. It's a very dark part of our history for sure. All right, 2 more. Effects of migration. Explain one way that migration affected the new society. Did we already do this one? I think we did. Let's do this one. Explain one way that migration affected the home society. Explain one way that migration affected the home society. All right, Rachel got that one. It led to women having more roles. Very good, because a lot of the men were leaving. Yes. In some instances, though, a like older brother or another man of the house would come as well. All right, so Final Jeopardy. Our topic is imperialism. And Team 1, you have 3,150 points. Team 2, you have 4,350 points. So you can't wager more than what you have, but you can wager all of it if you want. And if you are on Team 2, go ahead and drop either in Microsoft Teams if you're in my class, or if you're not in my class, you can put it in the remind. Let me know how much you would like to wager from Team 1 and Team 2. Once I get that information, if I get more than one, I'll just average it together. And if I don't get more than one, then that's fine too. Ethan, I'm starting a new chat with you on Teams. I think we already have one. And just so you know, one more time, Team 1 has 3,150. Team 2 has 4,350. Let's see what we got over here. Rachel, you're cracking me up. I love it. It's so funny. Okay. I've got a wager from both teams. Let me write them down so that I don't forget here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, remember, don't answer in the comments because you don't want the other team to see your answer. And let me pull up the music here because we got to have that. I forgot the little hand clapper. I'm so sorry. Final Jeopardy music. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, you got to have your question. So sorry. Explain one cause and one effect of imperialism. Explain one cause and one effect of imperialism. And you're in luck because I had a little advertisement before this. Here we go. All right, let's see if I got answers from both teams. Still waiting on Team 2 and still waiting on Team 1. So while we're waiting, I'm going to answer some of these questions. Gary says, I feel like I don't make a lot of stuff obvious, such as evidence and support. Are there any keywords? Definitely for support, you can say that this document shows or this shows. That definitely connects it for support. For the evidence, you could say, more evidence that proves this is blah, 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 blah. That kind of tips the reader off to that. Make sure for your explain parts, you can say the point of view of the author or the context of the document. You can come right out and say that. And then for describes, you could just say like the main idea of the document or the description of this document is da 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 da. I mean, it sounds like it's way too obvious, but you can be obvious. They're not going to take points off for that. As a matter of fact, it's better to be obvious because that way they don't miss it. Shun says for Final Jeopardy, if you get the points, you get the points that you wagered if you get it right. Okay. Let's see if I got it. I got an answer from Team 1 and I have an answer from Team 2. Okay, so Team 1 says a large cause of imperialism was that European powers wanted to get more resources to industrialize. On the other hand, an effect was their exploitation of the natives. Very good. And then Team 2 says one cause of imperialism was nationalism and the one for resources. One effect was mass colonialization of many non-industrialized countries, which could stunt their growth. Very good. All right, let me tally up the points here. I will get back to you shortly. Let's see. You guys did that. Oh, it's going to be a close one. It is going to be a close one today. All right, so drum roll. Where's my drum roll? Okay. So Team 2 wagered 1,500 points, so they end with a grand total of 5,850. Team 1 wagered all of their points. They went for the big guns, and they ended with 6,300. Congratulations, Team 1. Woohoo! Yes, good job. Congratulations, Team 1. congratulations to both teams. You guys are awesome when we play this. I just have such a fun time playing it. It's so much fun. All right, let me see if there's any last minute questions. Sean, yes, that's good advice. Apart from the document for outside evidence, that is good. Gary says, okay, I'm going to try this next time. I'll send you one final DBQ for grading. That'd be great. So I have Unit 6 coming up. I do not have it published yet because I haven't typed it up yet. But it is the Unit 6 of the AMSCO book, Gary. So if you have that AMSCO book, you can do that one. And then we will be covering it and going over it on the 19th. If you'd like a copy of that emailed to you, just let me know and I will send it out to you. Sean, I've got you on the list for somebody to receive that email as soon as I get it typed. I probably won't type it until tomorrow, but I'll get to it. Oh, good, Sean. That's awesome. Let me know what you get on those 3. Complexity. Okay, let's see. Okay. So good job, Rachel's team. And she said, take that, Ethan and Gary. Oh, she's giving you some trash talk. Would you look at that one says, wait, but their answer was all right, Ethan. I liked their answer. You've been plagiarized. Oh, you guys are too funny. All right. Bye, Ethan. Have a great day. We got done just in time for Westside classes. Westside classes switch at 10:30 and go to the next class. So we'll see you guys later, Westside. Rachel only answered. No, she didn't, Gary. She answered the question. All right. So that being said, tonight at 7, we will be having Unit 1 and 2 of the one-pager. So if you'd like to join for that, I will try to keep it brief, but I want to give you guys some advantages with how to organize those notes. Then Wednesday at 7, we'll be doing Unit 3 and 4. And Thursday at 7, we'll be doing 5 and 6. Don't forget, Friday at noon will be a final Jeopardy competition against my friend's class, Mr. Stopberg's class. And all y'all need to be there because you're going to be on the same team. So this time, Rachel, Ethan, Gary, Twan, you guys will all be working together. Sean, we hope you can join us. I'm not sure what time it is over there for you. So hopefully you'll be awake and you'll be up. And Juan, everybody's welcome. Leah, Lana, Twan, Annie, Quentin, all of you guys. All right, Quentin, if you are still listening, good luck on your AP test today. I know you can get it and do well. Ethan, good luck on your upcoming AP test. I will see you guys tonight at 7. That was a great game. Very fun. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tonight.